Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go to for what you do better than anyone else. Your brilliance is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've secretly been craving to set free, she is in there. And that means you will have to burn some old bridges down. And attracting your people will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to tone it down as a woman with ADHD, it's time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility that is something you've been avoiding, but that you truly want. This podcast is about stepping into your upgrade, watering down anything, never change the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore. In today's episode, we're going to discuss how I went into a spiral the other day in a Trader Joe's parking lot. My advice to you for that I also gave myself for when you're in the middle of a spiral like that and you catch it. There are a few specific things you can do as an ADHD human in that moment when you're experiencing that feeling, and will help you get to the other side fully intact, including your business. And lastly, how I believe the building a table metaphor is dead. And what is being erected in its place has nothing to do with a dick, because I said erect. So, from one force of nature to another, turn the volume up to an 11 and let's get fucking feral. Welcome back to the ADHD Entrepreneur, the podcast for ADHD women who refuse to play by the fucking rules and are here to show up as their full feral ass selves because beige is boring. And also, you want to simplify your business so that you can grow that shit. My name is Carrie. I am your host, and I am a force of nature business and brand cult maker. And I am the chief weirdo of Carrie Out Loud. I love being the chief weirdo. If you're new here, welcome. I'm really glad that you found the podcast. If this episode has an impact on you, if you could do me a quick favor and subscribe, turn on the notifications, and come back every Wednesday and leave a 5-star review with a little blurb telling me what you're loving about it. That helps other women like you find this podcast. Also, since I understand your ADHD personally and professionally, each episode has a couple of topics so I don't bore your fucking face off. And since we think in trains of thought, I kind of have the episodes roll that way. There are a couple of topics, and that speaks to your feral fun house of a brain, just like it does with mine. So let's get to the Trader Joe's parking lot. Okay, this is so fucking real. This happened a couple of days ago. I was for sure in my luteal phase. I am in perimenopause, but not in full menopause. And it's kind of like doing that coming and going thing. Super fun. But I could tell like I was in that phase. And I really, really wanted chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's. So I did that. And this spiral was not cute. It was one of those full body, what the fuck, you know that phrase, who the fuck do I think I am? Who the fuck do you think you are? Doing all that, things like, I have no original ideas. Everything feels like it came from someone else. I watched a coaching call, part of it that I did, and I hated how I was in that coaching call, even though there was nothing wrong with what I was doing. I interrupted my client, which, interrupting with ADHD is our love language. But my brain was like, no, I should have let her finish that thought. And yes, that is true. I don't also interrupt my clients all the time. And what I really did was says, may I stop you right there? I really want to make an observation. So it wasn't just cutting her off, but like in my brain, these were the things my brain was saying. And you're swimming upstream, even though you're doing everything right, da 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 da, all a bunch of bullshit. On and on and on and on. My brain was just lying, like a lying liar lying from its lie hole. So I sat in the car with my snacks and my tears and my inner critic just yelling at me, my ADHD, whatever was happening in that moment. And before, that tailspin would have lasted a long ass time. But now I know my body, I know my ADHD, and I know that if I pause and get super curious, I actually can figure out what is actually going on and handle it. So let's talk luteal for a minute. If you no longer have a period or you're in perimenopause, that's a little bit unpredictable. I get it, but it starts for most of us around 35. And having that phase makes you cantankerous, makes you feral, makes you a little bit more emotionally charged. And sometimes it could be something as simple as that, right? You could be tired. You could be overstimulated. You could be understimulated. You could be all kinds of things, but you have to get curious and figure out what those things may be. That alone helps because you are stopping, you are pausing, right? And you've heard this phrase before. You have to name it to tame it, meaning you have to figure out what it is so you can do what you need to do in that moment to handle that shit. And so I figured out what was up. I stopped trying to do anything work related for the rest of the day because that was not a requirement. It was a Friday. That's usually the day that I would say, okay, I can work if I want to, but I don't have to. So I stopped because that's how my business is designed. I took a breath and I told that inner a-hole to shut up. Then I not only fed her that chocolate, I ate dinner. Yes, I had dessert before dinner because duh, why not? There's no fucking rules. I drank some extra water and I went to bed really, really early. And I woke up feeling better. I woke up feeling back to myself. Some of the things that I wanted to get done, I went ahead and did them because I felt fine with that. It didn't feel like I was doing it because I had to. It felt like I needed to take the rest I needed to take. And I wanted to do a couple of things, and that felt good to me. So that's what I did. So, all of this is to say, just joking, but not joking. Woman, sometimes you need some snacks and some sleep or some friend time or to go to a business sister and just ask her to do some radical listening. If you don't know what that is, that's something that I say often. Radical listening is where you say, okay, I need some radical listening. And the other person, their only job is to listen and not try to fix it or solve it or give you any advice. And so sometimes when somebody is in a certain place and I know they're in there, I tell them, hey, if you ever need radical listening, here's what it is, here's what it means, and I'm happy to do that. And they just put the word radical listening and drop it all down. And I say, okay, I hear you. Yep, I got you. And sometimes we just need to get that shit out of our bodies. So maybe you can find yourself a radical listening partner or friend who can help you with that, because that also will help you in those hard moments. And oftentimes when we're in these harder moments, we can get ourselves out and move through them more often than not. We can actually catch it. Can't catch it every time. Okay. We have hypersensitivity, we have overstimulation, overwhelm, overload. Those things can come into play for sure. But a lot of times we can catch it. The more we know ourselves, the easier that gets to understand and see what's going on. Okay. Next train. Part of what I said was about watching myself coaching another person, watching video, watching it playback. And here's what I know to be true. And I want you to remember for yourself as well. You're not new around here. I'm not new around here. We are not perfect, but we are fantastic at what we do. Whether it's coaching, whether it's being a service provider, we know that we know our shit. So, what I had to tell myself after that moment is what I'm going to tell you right now. You are not a shitty coach or service provider. You're a human that gives a shit. That means you actually care about your people. If you're watching something and you're like, I don't like how that felt, you can that's blade sharpening shit right there. That is how you become better. You've observed something that you get to make better if it comes around the next time. We are all humans. We're all humans being, right? So watching a call like that or observing that means you care. It means you want to improve. It means you're looking at how you do what you do so that you can become even better at it. Do you know how brave it is to watch yourself doing that shit? Do you know that's one of the fastest ways to help you become better at it? I double dog dare you now. You may get pissed off at me, but I dare you to watch one of your own coaching calls, ones that you have coached someone else or you have helped somebody as a service provider that you've had those calls recorded so that it goes into your client's hub or a Loom video, something like that, anything like that, and watch it, observe it, see what felt good, see what you didn't like. That's how we get better. That's how we get better. Putting in the reps is what it is in like fitness, right? Doing bicep curls. You have to tear the muscle so that it heals back stronger and those fibers get stronger. This is the same exact fucking thing. And the other thing to remember is if you happen to interrupt people from time to time, ADHD brains interrupt because we connect the dots so fast and at such a warp speed that we're ready to spit out the information. We already have a general idea of what the person is about to say because possibly we've heard something similar to it. And where we have what they need ready to go. That isn't wrong, but it's something to work with, not something to shame yourself about. Shaming yourself about that kind of shit does absolutely nothing, right? So it's okay to observe these type of things, see what's going on, and not beat yourself up. Try that part, the not beating yourself up part. It's way better. Observe, correct, move forward, give yourself constructive feedback. It's not about criticism, it's feedback. Now, unoriginal ideas. Another thing that came up when I was in this spiral was thinking like, oh, I'm just doing what everybody else is doing. Have you ever had that thought? I'm going to guess the answer is yes. So, first of all, there is a TED Talk that discusses that there are no original ideas anymore. And I don't know if I fully believe that 100%. But like the show Severance, for example, is one of the most original things I've ever seen. I've never seen an idea like that before. Thank you, Apple. But what we do in our work, some of the baseline things we do are similar. They have similar principles, similar things that we are teaching. But remember this, Unless you are blatantly word for word grabbing something that somebody else is doing and saying and being, what you're doing is learning from the people ahead of you, 5, 10, 20, 50 steps ahead, and you're iterating. Because if everything, maybe everything has basically already been quote unquote done, but not in your voice, you're a completely different delivery system and not to your people, the people you're meant to work with, not through your lens, not through your lived experience, and not in a way that is infused with you and what you do best. Do you know do you know how many times I've had an idea, wrote it out, and saw another coach put out something similar a few days later and I was like, "Oh my god, I need to scrap this. Fuck." Right? Did I scrap it? No. No, of course I didn't. I'm not in their program. I have no idea what they're teaching. Just because maybe certain marketing may feel or sound similar in some ways has nothing to do with what's being taught inside, period. I know what I'm teaching. I know what I'm teaching is what I do the best. And even if that sounds similar, your zone of magic and the way you do things is different than other people. So, unless, like I said, you are grabbing things verbatim, word for word, and pretending they're your own, that's a different ball of wax. If you have an idea and you see somebody else has some type of iteration of that, it doesn't mean jack shit. It really doesn't. So I'll give you an example that is happening as we speak, which is probably part of why I had this spiral feeling that I caught quickly. Because yes, we're all fucking human. I'm not saying, oh, I'm so amazing and I'm human too. Can you even believe it? No, bitches, we're all just human. We're all here to do the things we love, to get paid well for them, and to help the people we really want to help the most, make an impact on our own lives and on the lives of other people. That's why we're really here. Most of us, not everybody, not everybody, but a lot of us. So here's what happened. I created a challenge and I really honed in on my messaging. I have been refining and refining and refining for the last 2 years, but I have finally nailed like my overarching umbrella of my brand and what I do and how to say it my way. And it's that I help women create force of nature businesses and cult brands, brands that are like people can't help but follow you. They don't want to look away. They're like, what is she going to do next, right? And so I decided to create a challenge based on a few things I've personally gone through the last 2 years and I see my clients experiencing too, so that I can help other women who are spicy like us bend time. I am a manifesting generator. Another word or term for Manny Gens is time bender, meaning we can bend time for other people. So, what that means is I am here to do something, learn, take the lesson, figure out, okay, now I get to teach this and teach it to everyone around me, my clients, my people, right? That's part of, as I jokingly say, being an MG with ADHD. We have energy out the wazoo and ideas galore, right? Especially if you have combined type ADHD. Oh boy, that's just energizer bunny shit right there. Now I had all of this written down, I had planned out, etc. And guess what happened? You may already know where this is going. I may not even have to like tell you what you're about to hear because you have ADHD. You see patterns. I turned around and a coach I love was doing a challenge almost exactly like it with some of the same wording. And this isn't the first time her brain and my brain have worked similarly, which is why I adore her. Not because her and I are the same, but because I'm like, yeah, she's my jam. Like, I just love that. She's a mentor of mine. And I wasn't copying her. The words cult brand became part of my own messaging for my business as a whole, right? And that is included in what we're both doing. It was a brand that is like a cult. And mine is built on personal experience, and it's for my fucking feral ADHD women. It's not copying or taking anything from her. I didn't see her thoughts. I was having my own. I'm leading and not trying to be like anyone else. And I really, really work hard to put my fucking blinders on. Another thing that I want you to understand about me and working together is I am not here to create carbon copies of myself. And that's not about any other coach or service provider. This is kind of a little bit of a topic deviation here, but what I teach when I teach it is how to do things in a way that work with your ADHD brain and your unique combination of who you are, your creativity, your life experiences, the way you see things that are unique to you. I don't want to make a carbon copy of my fucking self. There are things that are going to be similar. There are things that people are going to like repeat back to me, like my term, the frying pan of love. When I'm in the neurospicy sisterhood and I say something, they're like, oh man, she just gave me the frying pan of love. Yes, yes. But what that is more of a term so they understand I'm saying something to them they may not want to hear, but I deliver it with so much love for them that maybe their rebellious little brains can hear it without rebelling, right? So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's like a cult. They're repeating something back, but they're not trying to be me. They're using the phrase that gives them that understanding of why I do that and saying it back to me. Just like being at a concert and you're a musician, you write music and people sing your songs back to you. That doesn't mean they're out there doing things your way 100%. They're infusing their own lives and personalities, etc. You see the difference. I know you do. One of the things I can tell you, I don't have an ego. I want my humans to find their brand feel, and I want to help them say fuck the algorithm, and I want them to have referrals coming out of their ass, and I want them to have other women talking about them in rooms of opportunity when they aren't there. Grow, grow, grow. That's how we grow. That's how you build a business for the long term. That's what I teach. That's what I'm teaching inside of this challenge is that some of those principles. And so these are also based what I teach and how are based in things I learned when I started my first business at 24. I didn't know any of you. I didn't know anybody, any other coaches. I learned from a mentor when I was 24. And there's a lot of things that I bring into my business that have been part of me for decades. So I told myself to snap the fuck out of it because I'm not here taking anybody else's shit. But if something sounds similar or the same, and I've heard this from other mentors, other coaches who are friends of mine who are like, oh my gosh, this happens. Yes, it happens to everybody. Stay in your fucking lane. Because even though something sounds the same or similar, you're not teaching the same thing. You're not. And so if this happens to you, don't scrap the offer. Don't rewrite your messaging. Don't change your fucking entire business model. Stay grounded. Keep it simple. Get back to your business, what's working for your clients, and what you already know works overall for you. Because this moment will happen when you are around long enough. Something like this will happen. I remember another time I thought of something that was like E3. It was 3 words that all started with E. And so I put E cubed, like E3, E to the third power. And I saw some huge coach with hundreds of thousands of followers. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It just means that I had a similar idea. I barely even knew this person. I didn't even follow them. That's what was funny. I just saw it randomly. So just understand. So a few of the things that can help you when you are having a moment like this, here are actual things you can do. Action steps when you're in the middle of something that happens like this with an offer. Do not find a new niche. Anchor into one core message, your core message. Anchor into that, not a rebrand, none of those things. One clear truth that your people need to hear over and over again. Mine is something to the effect of I help late diagnosed ADHD women who are forced who want a force of nature business and a cult brand create one that is so of them, their fuck yes clients can't look away. And it's the first account they stock daily. And I also show them how to run a business that works with their brain versus against it. And what makes it fun is that is an overarching message. There are a few things that I do within that are related, kind of, but they're all under this overarching umbrella, right? That is how we keep our messaging fresh. That is how we keep that shit novel to our brains. Watch yourself with compassion, not criticism. So if you're in the rewatching a call portion of the program, read something you wrote or watch it and pretend you're the client. What would she say? What would she walk away with? Find the good pieces. They are in there. Pull those 3 things and turn them into pieces of content. Hello. It gets to be simple, or gets to be simpler. And to get back into momentum, lean into one thing each day, not 5, not a whole fucking launch, nothing like that. Something that moves your business along, or as everybody loves to say, a needle mover. One day, tell people what your brand is and why it matters, or your signature program, why it matters, or the one of the things you do the best and why it matters. The next day, have interaction with 5 people in your orbit. Chat with them. Just have a talk, discuss, chat. They're there, they're watching. Interact with them. Post a story that feels raw about where you really are without filtering it. Yeah, it can be vulnerable. I'm doing it right now. I had a fucking spiral in a Trader Joe's parking lot and ate chocolate. Yeah, first world problems. I get it. But still, I could have just said, what are 5 things you could do when this happens? No, fuck that. I'm telling you the story of what happened to me, how I was able to reframe that, and giving you ways that you can do that too. Because that comes from reality, not just a concept, right? Brain dump, shower thoughts onto a piece of paper and don't judge them. Save them for later. There's genius in there, I guarantee it, but you don't need to act on it immediately. You can dump it into your phone, onto a voice note, whatever. Write those thoughts down and don't edit them or judge them. Another thing you could do is write down what your fuck yes client is missing without you and why you can help them better than anyone else. None of this is based in ego. It is based in reminder of what you are here to do and what you are fully capable of. Not tooting your own horn. You're not starting over. You're just learning how to hold energy at a higher level as you grow. These things come up. You're not late. You're not failing. You're not unoriginal. You're in a process. You may possibly even still be healing from getting an ADHD diagnosis. There's no fucking time frame on that. Getting the diagnosis is healing, but there are still other pieces that we have to go through that take time. And I've said this before, the higher self thing to me is bullshit for us as ADHD humans. We're becoming the fullest expression of ourself. Our fullest expression of us is our higher self, meaning being fully you is the highest level of being for you, of being. It's letting all of those parts and pieces be there, not necessarily for the world to consume, but to be there and to be alive and to not hide them. You are the whole reason your business is still running. You're holding the line, and more of what you want is coming. Hold on to your vision always. Hold your messaging. Hold the line. Remember that if you're feeling bored in your business, I can absolutely help you create some kind of anti-niche, meaning keep your novelty seeking brain feeling good by helping you see a through line through all of what you do, overarching messaging, and then the parts and pieces that you love to do that you can get paid to do and love the most. That also keeps you interested with that interest-based brain. That's a real thing. And that's one of the things that I help put together. I see those patterns. You may not. And I do this best with my freaking spicy ass unicorn brained clients because we have brains that are similar. And you have a lot more traction right now than you can see. That I can make a promise. I can promise that. You for sure think you are nowhere near as far along as you actually are. We are, our 50% is like everyone else's 120%. Like, remember that shit, okay? And the one final thing that I'm going to leave you with is the timeline of women in business, especially starting in the corporate world, raising up. It's had really a specific trajectory. There used to be like one seat at the table for women in the boardroom. And the women were constantly fighting with each other for that one seat. It was very catty. It was very, you versus me, until we learned that we could stop fighting for one seat at the table and build our own business. So we called that building our own table, building our own thing. And back then it wasn't as common, back then, meaning I'm going to say probably like we're talking 80s, 70s, 80s. And it's not as common as it is now. So the analogy then became build your own table. So there's room for everyone to collaborate with others. And that's all still true. But I want to share an observation with you and tell you what I believe is the reality of now. We don't build tables and chairs anymore. We build skyscrapers and full on fucking ecosystems. We hire differently. We hire other women. We're no longer here talking about creating little online businesses. Oh, how's your little business? Fuck off. This is my career. We're creating whole systems that disrupt the norm, that shake shit up. Not everybody likes that in society. That's okay. That's not your fucking problem. And so that is why I use the term force of nature. Forces of nature cannot be stopped. They're inevitable. They're inevitable, just like your success. So please, for the love of all that's holy, keep building those skyscrapers and ecosystems, and never forget who the fuck you are and how powerful you are. And I challenge you to do something really fucking weird, but I think you're going to like this one, and it may also make you a little uncomfortable, and that's okay too. For the next week, every love song you hear, it's about you. That love song is you talking to yourself. Sing it to yourself. It may make you cry. It may make you feel powerful, but you are the only person you are with from birth to death. And that is what makes you the love of your own life. And when you love yourself enough and you take actions to do something differently in the world, you build things that are unparalleled and visionary as a motherfucker. Don't forget it. And with that, I'm going to end today's episode. If you love this episode, God, I hope you love this episode. I feel so empowered. I hope you feel it. Feel it too. Subscribe, give the podcast a 5-star review, tell a friend, send me a note by carrier pigeon with what you love, drop in the DMs. Let me know what you got out of the episode. I'm a connection queen and I love hearing from my community. And so until next week, I see you. I love you. I'm fucking rooting for you always. And stay feral. Bye-bye. Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance, and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.